Welcome to the Irresistible You podcast. This is the place to get a dose of empowerment to create the life you crave and deserve. I'm your host, Amy Beltran, CEO and founder of Irresistible University. I'm here to help you love yourself by dropping the body image issues so that you can lose the emotional weight and gain the confidence to look and feel irresistible at any size. Hello, beautiful people, and welcome back to this week's Irresistible You podcast episode. Today, we are talking about how to silence the inner fat bitch. That's right. We are going to dive deep into how and what and who the inner fat bitch is so that you can learn how to silence her so that you can drop the emotional weight, lose the physical weight even, and gain more confidence in your life. And so in order to do that, what I first want to do, before we even get into all of the juicy details and content, is there is a free podcast worksheet that is attached to this episode. So if you go into the show notes, click on the link, you can put your name and email and download the worksheet. It'll get sent to your email in just a couple of minutes once you do that. And this is a worksheet that I'm going to reference throughout the episode, but you can certainly listen to the entire episode and then go back and you're going to do some work with this worksheet around your inner fat bitch thoughts and things that are coming up for you. And we'll get into that in just a little bit. So I just wanted to put that out there first. Obviously, if you're driving or you're multitasking, do it later. First and foremost, I use, if you're new to the podcast, you will soon learn that I use a lot of my own terminology and phrases that I use here, and I also use throughout my coaching and courses that I teach. So what is the inner fat bitch? What do I mean by this? What I mean by this is the inner fat bitch is the inner voice that you have. We all have that inner voice in our head. But this is the voice that's always telling you how fat you look, how disgusting you are, how no matter what you do, nobody's going to care. You'll never be worth a damn. You're not good enough. And the inner fat bitch is the queen of self-sabotage. She is holding you back and making you believe that all of your negative thoughts, all of those inner fat bitch thoughts, and all of those stories that you've told yourself are the truth, are the hard truth. So you believe you're not worth a damn, that you're not good enough, that you're disgusting, that you're too fat, that you're too this, you're too that. And when you lack self-love, self-worth, self-confidence, the inner fat bitch will always pop up and be like, hey, bitch, to self-sabotage you because she's looking for a reason to prove that the way you feel and all the things that you say about yourself are the absolute truth. She's there to try and confirm that, yep, this is the way it is. This is who you are. This is how it is, right? When the truth of that is those are just thoughts and beliefs that you have about yourself. It doesn't mean they're true. Okay? And this inner fat bitch, she doesn't just go away because you get to your goal weight. She doesn't just go away because you weigh a certain number or you wear a certain size or you have a certain body type. So I want you to understand that the inner fat bitch is not about how much you weigh. This is showing up for most women, whether you're thin, whether you're overweight, or whether you're somewhere in between. And it doesn't go away just because you lose physical weight, unless you're doing the work to silence it. Okay? So that's a big misconception, is that, all this negative talk that I do to myself and all these things that I feel about myself, when I just get to my goal weight, everything will be better. I'll feel good. I'll look good. I'll feel good. Everything will go away. That is what has kept you stuck up until now, because you have believed that to be the truth. And so then every time you invest in this new diet plan, the starting over on Monday, you're continuing to believe that you just have to get to goal weight and it'll all be better, right? I also really need you to get this. Just because you lose weight, and just because let's say you decide that, you know what, I am going to learn how to silence the inner fat bitch. I'm going to go on this personal development journey. I am going to, sign up for the Irresistible You program. I'm going to do the work. I'm going to really work on losing the emotional weight. Even if you do something like that, even if you decide to work with me, if you decide to come over into one of my group coaching programs, even if you go to therapy and you do all this work on yourself, that inner fat bitch is never going to be completely gone. And that's what I think you need to really understand from this episode. And what I mean by that is, just because you lose physical weight, just because you lose the emotional weight, just because you reach your full potential, right? You're still going to have days where you look in the mirror and you're like, not today, not feeling it. And you start saying nasty things to yourself. You're still going to have times where you come home and you want to shove your face in a 6-pack of cupcakes. You're still going to have cravings. You're still going to have negative thoughts about your body and about yourself. That's just part of being a human. The difference becomes knowing what to do when those thoughts and those cravings come up. That's the difference. The other difference is also even recognizing when those thoughts and feelings are coming up. Because there's two different types of people. You are either one of these two. You are either one, a zombie walker. This is, again, one of my terms. I should probably make a glossary for the podcast. If you are a zombie walker, you are just existing. You are just walking through life, going through the motions, not questioning anything, not being curious about anything, accepting the status quo, believing all the inner fat bitch thoughts that come up, that you'll never be anything, you'll never lose the weight, you're just destined to be like this is just the way I am, this is how our family is, I'm never going to change, I don't, why would I be someone that can live a better life? That's not who I am. There's no one in my family that's ever done it before, so I can't do it. And you're just existing. You're not living, and there's a big difference between the two, right? The other type of person is someone who is extremely self-aware. The person who is self-aware is someone who recognizes, yep, there's those thoughts, there's that negative thought again. I'm not doing that today. Or, ooh, I'm having those cravings again. No, I recognize it's happening and I'm going to do something different. So let me give you a better example. So for me, I'll use me as this example here. In my past, I was clearly a zombie walker, and you can still kind of fall into it at times, but you recognize, oh no, I'm zombie walking, gotta stop doing that. So when you are full-blown zombie walking, you've never reached this path of self-awareness. When you're zombie walking through life, you had a bad day at work, you come home and you shove your face in all the food and sit your ass on the couch for 4 hours and Netflix and chill, without even questioning what you're doing. And then going, oh my God, where did the food go? How did this happen? The other way you zombie walk through life is, this is my favorite example because I have been here. Let's say it's the first hot day of the season. It's May, and it's the first hot day that you've had in months because it's been cold, right? And you're like, oh, I got to go find those summer clothes. You go to your closet, you pull out the summer clothes, you put your shorts on, and you're like, oh, they don't even go over my knees. How the hell did I get here again? How did I gain all this weight? I don't understand. Everything bad always happens to me. If they wouldn't have laid me off from work, I would have never gained back the weight. If I would have just got started again on the diet 2 years ago, I wouldn't be going through this again. Why do I do this to myself? I'm such a loser. I'm such a failure. I'm always going to be fat. I don't have anything to wear. Now I'm not going out today. That is the epitome of zombie walking. Because I'm going to be very clear with you. You know exactly how you got there. You're just choosing to stay asleep at the wheel. And you're just choosing to stay asleep at the wheel. And you're just choosing to stay asleep at the wheel. And you're just choosing to stay asleep at the wheel. And you're just choosing to stay asleep at the wheel. And you're just choosing to stay asleep at the wheel. And you're just choosing to stay asleep at the wheel. And you're just choosing to stay asleep at the wheel. And you're just choosing to stay asleep at the wheel. And you're just choosing to stay asleep at the wheel. And you're just choosing to stay asleep at the wheel. And you're just choosing to stay asleep at the wheel. And you're just choosing to stay asleep at the wheel. And you're just choosing to stay asleep at the wheel. And you're just choosing to stay asleep at the wheel. And you're just choosing to stay asleep at the wheel. And you're just choosing to stay asleep at the wheel. And you're just choosing to stay asleep at the wheel. And you're just choosing to stay asleep at the wheel. And you're just choosing to stay asleep at the wheel. And you're just choosing to stay asleep at the wheel. Because otherwise, you have to take responsibility and you have to be accountable to your actions. And you're not ready to do that. Okay? And I have a whole episode on zombie walking that I would definitely listen to if you haven't heard it before. The person on the other side who is self-aware, here's how this person handles things. I had a really shitty day at work today. This person that I'm working at on my contract yelled at me like I was a 5-year-old. I'm really pissed off about it. I'd rather go home right now and shove my face in a 6-pack of hot pink cupcakes and sit in my bathtub. Yes, I have actually done that before. But you know what? I know. And then you know what I want to do? I want to spend the rest of the night like eating everything that I love and go out to eat and like have appetizers and drinks and all the stuff. But I know that when I do that, I'm going to feel worse than I feel right now. And what if I go home and I do that and I shove my face in the cupcakes and all the food, I know that that is also going to come with long-term consequences. And I don't want to stand in front of my mirror in 6 months from now and not have anything to wear because I gained back all my weight. So you know what I'm going to do because I'm really pissed the F off right now? I'm going to go home out to my garage where I have a home gym. And I'm going to kick the shit out of my kickboxing bag for 45 minutes. And I'm going to pretend it's that person's face. That's how I'm going to handle it. And while I'm doing that, my like healthy, clean meal is cooking inside the house. I've got it all in the crock pot. I've got it going. And that's what we're going to have for dinner. That, my friends, is the difference. And after I kick the shit out of that bag for 45 minutes, I tell you one thing. I feel better. I got the rage out. I got the stress out, and I burned a shit ton of calories and got out a lot of sweat. And that feels better any day of the week than waking up tomorrow morning bloated, with a stomach ache, feeling gross, and having a hangover of guilt and shame from all the food that you ate that you promised yourself on Monday you wouldn't eat. That is the epitome of being a zombie walker versus being self-aware. And if you want to get to a place where you feel confident, you're happy in your life, you're happy in your body, you're no longer basing your happiness on a number on the scale, you're no longer beating yourself up about a fat roll, you have to learn how to silence the inner fat bitch. And the only way to silence the inner fat bitch is to learn how to become self-aware. That's it. Because you're sure as hell not going to silence it when you're a zombie walker, when you're not taking responsibility, when you're not being accountable to shoving your face in the cupcakes every day and then going, how did I get here again? Can't believe it. Everything bad happens to me. No. You know that, so again, the self-aware person, guess what? Bad shit still happens to them. They still get stressed out. They still have bad days. But they take responsibility for their actions as a result. And it's like, you know what? I'm overwhelmed today. I've got too much on my plate. I really just, my head, the chatter is going, and I have all this clutter in my head. I really need to clear it. I should probably just go eat and like silence my nerves. No. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get up, walk away from my desk, get my dog, get Chewy, and go out for a walk around the water. And then I'm going to feel better. And also understand that someone who is self-aware like that will still probably emotionally eat at times. I do. But you know what I also do when I decide to do that? Again, number one, it's a decision. And number two, I'm like, all right, you know what? I know I should probably go for a walk right now. But instead, I'm going to eat this food. And I'm going to be okay with it. And I'm not going to have any guilt or shame with it. And I'm going to get right back on track later. At the next meal, tomorrow morning, whatever. Because that's the other misconception is you set yourself up to fail when you think that, you know what, there's going to be this magic moment one day where like, I never think anything bad about myself again. I never like want to eat something bad again. I never get another craving again. I never get that like, oh, I don't want to work out voice again. Yeah, that's still going to happen. Get over it. It's still going to happen. So how are you going to deal with it? How are you set up right now to deal with these things? So the inner fat bitch voice that's going on, how is it showing up? What does it look like? Like, let's go through some examples because I want you to really understand in your own life how this is happening and showing up for you. So if you're zombie walking, again, like I said before, you don't even realize that you have these thoughts, right? So let me just be very clear with some examples for you. The inner fat bitch begins, she like wakes up before your eyes are even open. So you're laying in bed, the alarm has just gone off, you haven't even opened your eyes yet, and you're just like, ugh, why did I eat all that last night? Why did I shove my face in the hot pink cupcakes? Why did I do that again? I told myself on Monday I wasn't going to do this anymore. I am so gross. I am so fat. I am so disgusting. You know what? I don't even want to go to work today. I think I just want to call out and make up a story. I don't want to go in. I don't want to do this today. And your eyes haven't even opened. And that is setting the stage and the intention for your entire day. And let me ask you, how many days of your life have started this way? And then you wonder, how did you get here? Because you've never decided to take a wrench and throw a wrench in the cycle and say, enough is enough. I don't deserve to talk to myself like this. I deserve to treat myself better. I deserve to eat better. I deserve to treat my body better. That's never happened for you. So you get out of bed and you're sore and you're tired and you feel sluggish and you feel gross and you're like touching, like adjusting your pajamas or whatever, and you can feel the fat rolls and the sweat and you just feel absolutely disgusted with yourself. Miserable. Like you are a prisoner in your own skin. And the whole time you're like, I can't believe I look like this. I'm so gross. How did I get here? I'm so fat. I'll never lose this weight. Oh my God, I just have to start over today. All of that is inner fat bitch talking. All of that is the inner fat bitch thoughts. And then it's time to take a shower. So you got to take your clothes off. And how many of you do this? Like, be honest with yourself, because that's another thing when you are zombie walking and you're not validating the inner fat bitch, you're not being honest with yourself. So you take your clothes off and you run past the mirror as fast as you possibly can, because the last thing you want to do is have to actually see it in the mirror. And you never take the time to take all your clothes off, stand naked in front of the mirror, and actually look at your body. All of it. The rolls, the cellulite, the loose skin, the sagging, the imperfections, and all the flaws. You never, ever take the time to actually look at what's going on there. Because you're asleep. You're asleep at the wheel. Right? And to actually see it, to actually look inside the mirror, for you is way too painful, because that means you have to actually admit that this is where you're at. And that no form of starting over on Monday is going to change any of that in the near future. You're not going to get where you want to be anytime soon. And so let's just keep pushing it away and not even recognizing that this is who you are and this is what your body looks like. I'll just start the diet today, and then I'll just put my head down for a few weeks or a few months, and I just got to lose the weight. I can't look at it right now. I just can't. How many of you are doing this? If you are, you're zombie walking, and if you are, that is all inner fat bitch thinking. So the next thing is you got to get in the shower, right? So you're already naked. You got to get in the shower and you're rushing to get out of the shower as fast as possible, as quick as possible, because the last thing you want to do now is actually have to touch your body. And if you're going to wash yourself, you got to touch your body, right? So you're like scrubbing and trying to get out there. You got the loofah going and like trying to get out there as fast as you can. And the minute you get out of the shower, you throw the towel around you, put your ass in a robe, or put your clothes on as fast as you possibly can so that you don't have to deal with it. Tuck all the fat in the things, get in the robe, tuck it all in, get the bra on, lift those boobs up. That's what you're doing. And it's like this avoidance of reality. And so I also hear people say to me, well, if I recognize it and I look at myself in the mirror and I start to learn how to accept myself and I just like look at my body the way it is now, that means I'm like giving up. Well, what are you doing right now? Please tell me what exactly it is you're doing right now, because I'm pretty sure you're not doing anything about your situation. So no, like, when you're not validating and recognizing the inner fat bitch stuff that's going on, you're actually giving her power. To recognize her, to validate that those things are happening, you're actually taking the power away and you're giving it back to yourself. Do you see the difference? This is stuff we can go talk about inside of the free podcast discussion group in Facebook. Like, let's talk about this. Do you understand the difference? If you say, okay, you know what? Yeah, I'm having a hard time looking at myself in the mirror because I'm telling myself all these things. And I'm just going to stand here and look and just see where this goes. You're giving yourself back the power to make those decisions. And you're taking the power away from the inner fat bitch thoughts, the inner fat bitch like negativity, and she's going to go to that first place of just telling you how gross you are, how you're not good enough, how you're always going to look like this, how you're never going to lose the weight, how you're never going to be good at what you're doing. Right? That's the difference. So we have to take the power away and give it back to you, because what I want you to understand is you are actually in control of all of this. You've just chosen to be asleep at the wheel and like fat bitch is like on autopilot, right? The inner fat bitch. And she's mean. She's nasty and she's mean and she's not a nice person. And who wants that in their life? And so continuing to let that drive for you, continuing to let her make all the decisions, continuing to let her run your life is never going to get you where you need to be. It's just not. Like, and if you're here and you're on a physical weight loss journey as well, as I know many of you are, that's not helping you. It's not helpful at all. And we should only be losing weight from a place of self-love and wanting to better who we are, because we know we deserve better. We know we deserve to take care of our body. We know we deserve to eat things that are good for us. We know we deserve to nourish ourselves, and we don't deserve to shove our face in a 6-pack of cupcakes and binge eat till our stomachs hurt and that we feel gross and bloated and miserable from it. You don't deserve that. So why are you doing it to yourself? And so the inner fat bitch shows up for you pretty much the rest of the day. And like I said, for most people, like it's starting from the moment before your eyes even open. So now you're like standing in, you did the shower, you did the thing, you're standing in front of the closet, you've got to find something to wear. You know the scenario. Nothing fits. Nothing looks good. And you're almost frustrated and flustered into tears. And you change your clothes 3 or 4 times before you leave the house. And you're changing clothes, you're working up a sweat, you're throwing stuff on the floor, nothing is fitting, nothing is looking good, you're not happy, and the whole time she's validating that for you. You're so gross, look at you. You think you're going to wear that? Look at that fat roll, look at that muffin top. You're really going to wear that today? Who do you think you are with those big-ass nasty legs? There she is. There it is. Recognize it. Write it down. So you change your clothes 3 or 4 or 5 times before you even leave the house. And you're still not happy. You still don't feel comfortable. You still don't feel confident in that fourth outfit. And while you're doing all this, you're like working up a sweat and then convincing yourself how, you know what, I just can't. I just can't today. Like, I'm going to call out of work. I got enough sick days. I got this. Or you know what, that party, I'm not going tonight. I'm not going. I can't do this. I don't want them to see me. They can't see me like this. Who the hell wants to see me like this? I look disgusting. I'm going to be the fat friend in all the pictures, and nobody's going to want to see that nasty mess. There she is. Write it down. That's the inner fat bitch talking. So you make up all these stories. You're going to call out. You're going to cancel. You're not even going to go. And it's going to follow you throughout the rest of the day. So from the time you're getting dressed, from the showering, from the looking in the mirror, and also like every time you go to eat something or not eat something during the day. So it shows up as you believing you have no like concept of self-control over food because you have been conditioned to believe that's the truth. She, the inner fat bitch, has conditioned you to believe you don't have control over food. I got the control. To believe that food is the best source of entertainment. Oh yes, food is the best source of comfort. Food is your only source of comfort and entertainment. Come hang out with me. Don't you want to hang out with me? Come hang out with me. Like that's what she's saying to you. Like you don't need the devil and the angel. You just got like the inner fat bitch on your shoulder and she is mean as hell. She is nasty. Right? She's a total bitch. And you have believed for so long that you don't have control over what goes in your mouth. You don't have control over the cravings. You don't have control over if your friends decide, hey, we're all going to lunch today. Hey, we're all going to happy hour tonight. Want to come? So you believe you have two choices. Well, I either go and I'm going to like blow my diet that I just started this morning after I got dressed and I hated myself and I was saying all the nasty things. I'm going to just blow it. I'll just start tomorrow. No big deal. Or, no, I'm busy, guys. Sorry. And you go home and you isolate yourself and you overeat and you emotionally eat anyways. That's the two options you're doing right now. And you believe those are your only two options, and that is not the truth. The truth of all of it is that you and only you get to decide what goes into your mouth. And I want to give you something that is so empowering and was like one of the biggest things for me in my journey. What goes in your mouth is one of the few things in your entire life that you actually have full control over. And I want you to really think about that. You get to decide. You're deciding what that is. So the inner fat bitch thoughts and feelings are popping up throughout your day during meals or temptations with food or snack time and things like that. You're having this self-talk. So again, let's write it down. Let's get out the worksheet and let's start writing this stuff down. Because the only way to get to the other side, the only way to stop doing this is to, number one, recognize and validate that it's happening in the first place. And so often you're not willing to do that because to recognize it means I also admitting there's a problem here. I'm admitting that I have this thing going on that I really need to fix. I have this uncomfortable pain in my life that I really need to take care of, and I'm not ready to take care of it. And if I start recognizing it, if I start looking at my naked ass body in the mirror, if I start writing down the nasty thoughts that I have about myself, that means I'm admitting to the fact that I hate myself. I'm fat. I'm fat, and I don't like it. That's what you're admitting. I'm fat. I don't like it. I am miserable in my own skin. And I am allowing the fact that I'm fat, the fact that I'm overweight to control and dictate everything else about my life. And I'm going to say this. It is not about the weight. The weight that you're carrying is a symptom of something else. It's a symptom of the fact that you don't like yourself. You don't like your circumstances. You don't know how to deal with the things that are happening in your life. You don't know how to process your emotions. You don't even know where to begin. The weight is just a symptom of all of that crap that's swirling around inside of you. And the inner fat bitch is there to remind you that this is what you deserve. You deserve to look like this. You deserve to feel like shit. You don't deserve anything good. Look at you. What do you think you deserve? Who do you think you are? That's her, guys. That is her showing up. And you know that moment where like you actually look in the mirror and you're like feeling really good about yourself. And you're like, all right, I look good today. I like this. I got this. And then all of a sudden you're like, but who do you think you are? Look at you. You're like overweight. No one's going to no one's going to look at you. You don't need to, like, please don't go out in public with those shorts on. That's the stuff that starts happening. And you back out slowly and you convince yourself that you don't deserve to wear shorts when it's 100 fucking degrees outside. Because, oh my God, somebody might roll their eyes at you. And the truth of that is you don't even have the evidence that they are actually rolling their eyes because of you. Maybe it's all about them. Just like right now, it's all about you and what you look like. Did you ever consider that? And so these other ways that this inner fat bitch is ruling and showing up in your life, because right now she's reigning your life. She's reigning over your life. Okay? It's also showing up, you know, a lot of times we think, oh, body image and our weight and this and that, it's all this vanity thing. It is the furthest from the truth. It is not like, it is about so much more than that. Because it's also showing up for you believing somewhere deep inside that you don't actually deserve happiness. Like something as small as you believing you don't deserve to wear shorts when it's 100 degrees outside, that is asinine. That is absolutely asinine to me. And I can say this because I've been there. I was that person wearing a sweater and jeans and boots in July when it was so disgustingly hot here. Like, what the F? Like, that was me too. And it could be something as small as that like you don't deserve to feel happy and comfortable in the summertime you don't deserve to like bump your salary to that next level. You don't deserve that promotion. You don't deserve to start that business. You don't deserve a husband that doesn't verbally abuse you. You don't deserve to be with someone who's not like crazy, right? Like, so we put ourselves in these situations in our life and just like play the victim, play the pity party that we have no control over it. Because somewhere deep inside of you from this inner fat bitch thinking, you don't feel that you deserve to be happy. So you'll just put it all off to the side because that's a good way to cop out. That's a good way to take the responsibility off. That's a great way to not be accountable to your own damn actions. I'll just put this off till next year when I lose the weight. Because now it's off of you. Because you're not, and you don't have a plan between now and next year. So it's like, whew, I don't have to worry about that right now. And so you put your happiness on hold. You put your life on hold. You put all the dreams that you have for yourself on hold. And you are putting your potential on hold. And I'm going to tell you right here, right now, newsflash, your life started the day you were born. So if you're sitting here waiting for this moment for like, whoa, my life is going to begin, your life is already happening. And not only that, your life is happening, but your life is passing you by. It's not going to slow down. So for you to keep waiting for the wait, for you to keep putting everything off to the future, for you to keep pushing it away to next year, all you're doing is passing your life by, and you're just existing, and you're just zombie walking, and you're letting the days tick by, and you don't get any of it back. And I don't know about you, but I'm not okay with that. I am not okay with wasting my life away. Because when I decide to waste my life and I decide to wait on the wait, I'm also deciding to waste my daughter's life. I'm deciding to waste my husband's life, my family, my dog. And I don't get that time back. Do you understand? You don't get it back. I want to just shake you to get you to understand that. My daughter will never be 2 years old again. This is it. My dog is 10. I'm not even going to go down that road right now because I can't talk about that. Dogs are only here for a limited amount of time. And we don't even know how much time we have. So if you want to keep sitting there, not taking responsibility, not being accountable, blaming everybody else for why you're overweight, be my guest. But also understand that you are wasting your life waiting for the wait. You are literally wasting it. And how selfish is that? How selfish is it? Because again, it's not just you that's suffering from that. How are other people being affected in your life because of your actions or your lack of action? How many other people? And if you're a parent, I really need you to understand that. If you're a pet parent, you really need to understand that. And that's why I say all the time, this isn't about vanity. This isn't about fitting in some sexy ass dress to go clubbing with your girls. That's a plus. That's icing on the cake when you get to this place of self-awareness and feeling irresistible that you could throw that little black dress on and feel like $1,000,000. That is icing on the cake. But that is not what this is about. So understand, as long as you're standing here walking around, carrying around this inner fat bitch with you, you are going to continue to believe that you don't deserve happiness and you'll just push everything off to the future. And then that's never going to happen. Has it happened for you yet? No. It happens when you decide, you know what? I'm going to throw a wrench into this cycle that I cannot stand to be on anymore, and I'm going to take action, and I'm going to do what I need to do, and I'm not going to do it by just investing in another stupid-ass diet. I'm actually going to work on myself and get what I deserve in life. That's how it changes. It changes when you decide that it's going to change, and that you're willing to get uncomfortable and do the damn work to make it happen. Because it's 100% possible for you. Do you understand that it is in your reach? You have the ability to 100% change the life that you have right now. If you would just get out of your own way, if you would just silence the inner fat bitch that's telling you, no you don't, because you know what she's telling you right now? I know you're sitting there with that look, that little smirk on your face, with all your self-doubt saying, well, nobody in my family could ever be successful. Nobody in my family's ever been thin. Nobody in my family ever had a dream life. Nobody in my family ever got XYZ. So I guess this is just my destiny. Yeah, if you choose to believe that, yeah, it is. But you can also choose to believe that you can do so much more, that you deserve so much more, and that you are capable of so much more. And the inner fat bitch has got you to believe that you'll never get rid of her. This is just who you are. This is just the way you are. You will always look like this. You will always feel like this. You don't deserve to be one of those highfalutin people that has everything they ever wanted. Who the hell do you think you are? How many times a day does that come up for you? Write it down. How many times a day do you have that feeling of who do you think you are? Right? It came up somewhere along the way for you, and it's still there in the back of your head. So, the fat girl, inner fat bitch, the inner fat girl, that can totally go away and be silenced. Again, still going to pop up sometimes, but you're going to know, okay, there she is. Not today. Bye, Felicia. We're not hanging out. Nope. and you're going to just ghost her and move on with your life. That's what's going to end up happening. Otherwise, it's just going to keep popping up, and you're going to have these thoughts, and you're going to have these beliefs about yourself. And all of this is self-sabotaging what you dream of, what you actually want for yourself. Because we all have dreams and goals for ourselves. And they're not just about looking a certain way. Again, that's icing on the cake. That's not the main thing here. So you have to start addressing this stuff, especially if you're on a weight loss journey. Even if you're not on a weight loss journey, even if you've never struggled with weight, you probably are sitting here walking around with an inner fat bitch too, and you have to address that. This is not a weight issue. This is like everything I've seen and all the work that I do, it's like an epidemic with us women. And we have to stop it. Because we're going to keep passing it on. So the next time, like, you're sitting there and you're having these thoughts and you're like, I'm so sick of being the fat girl. I hate this. I don't like who I am. I'm so miserable. I'll never be thin. I don't like this, blah, 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 blah. I want you to stop, and I need you to write it down. I need you to recognize it. I need you to get the clutter out of your mind. And the number one way to do that is just write it down. Ask my students. I do this all the time with them. And I want you to remember all of this is not just about the weight. It's about the emotional baggage. It's about the emotional pounds, the emotional weight that you are carrying around with you. And none of that goes away on a treadmill. None of that goes away on your stupid keto diet. None of that goes away on your like 72-hour fasting detox or whatever bullshit diet you're trying to do. None of that even goes away when you're eating in moderation and you've changed your lifestyle. It doesn't magically take all of that away. It goes away and it gets silenced by doing the hard work on your mindset and learning how to take care of yourself, like actually take care of yourself for the first time ever. So I want you to download the worksheet. I want you to actually do the work and the worksheet, and then I want you to come into the Facebook group. We have the free podcast discussion group, and I want you to share what you learned. I want you to share what your inner fat bitch is telling you. What are those thoughts that you have? What is she telling you? Like, how is that coming up for you? Go into the group. There will be a thread. Post how you're doing, what questions you have. Let's have a discussion about this, because when you are dealing with these issues, body image, confidence, weight, you have a tendency to isolate yourself. I see you. I know. And I've said it before, you guys, there is not one excuse or one thing that you can tell me that I haven't done myself. So you're not going to get one over on me. I am here to call you out on your shit. It's my job. So I know that you isolate yourself. I know that you don't show up for yourself. I know that you come in the group and you lurk and you hide. And you watch the videos and you listen to the podcast and you look at other people's posts, but you never show up. You never comment and you never share what's actually going on with you. And I want to tell you that one of the best ways to break this cycle, to stop the zombie walking, to silence the inner fat bitch, is you gotta show up. Say hello. Tell other people how you're doing. Reach out for help. This is a group of people that all get it. Every single woman in this group, and it's all women, have been there, are going through it. You're not going to be judged. You're not going to be shamed. So I want you to start showing up. I want you to start commenting. I want you to start interacting, because just sitting around and listening, I love that you listen to the podcast. It's amazing and I appreciate you. But I would be telling you, it would be a disservice to you if I told you, oh, that's all you got to do. That's it. No, that's not enough. You got to start showing up. So I would love to meet you, say hello, come into the group, post in the discussion, and let's have a conversation about this, right? Because the only way we change is to start doing the work. And the only way we start doing the work and showing up is to start recognizing what's actually going on and not just saying, yep, I'm okay, I'm good, I'm fine. That's not helping anybody. That's not helpful to you, and it's not helpful to anybody else. So I love talking with you guys. I love doing the podcast. Keep the reviews coming. They are amazing. If you haven't done a review and this podcast is helping you in any type of way, I would love to hear from you. Head over to iTunes, leave a rating and a review. It takes just a minute to do that. It helps me more than you could understand. And it also helps us spread this Irresistible You message, helps other women find the podcast so that we can all rise up to our full potential and become Irresistible You. Until next time, guys, stay irresistible.